How do you get a nation full of people to work hard to the bone, 40 to 80 hours a week, and once they get their paycheck, to give their paycheck over to you? How do you get a nation of people to do that? Well, you get that nation of people weak. You make them weak. You basically psychologically manipulate them to give in to their every whim and desire, to give in to whatever their mind wants, to give in to whatever their body wants. Okay, to not be able to say no to themselves. Like, oh, I like that car, but I'm not going to purchase it because I work hard for my money and I can't afford it right now. Instead, they create people who say, ooh, I like that car. Here, I'll make payments. Here, I'll get a credit card. Here, I'll finance it. But I want it, so let me just have it. Once you create a nation full of weak people, then you could get them addicted to your products. Alcohol, cigarettes, gambling, partying, social media, television, movies, all these things that are not very good for people, but people love to do. People get addicted to doing. These things that are bad, that get us addicted. All these vices that people have that release dopamine in the mind and give you that little high. Okay? That's how you do it. You could get people who work hard 40 to 60 plus hours a week to just give you their money. That's how you do it. And that is how our nation is. And now 42 states are suing Meta, Instagram, and a bunch of other apps for getting children addicted to their apps. They use language like rabbit hole algorithms where, they understand through the kid what the kid clicks on, what the kid likes, what the kid, comments on. They use that, and the algorithm knows what to show them next to get them to click on that and comment or like or what have you. So you have rabbit hole algorithms. You have endless scrolling. Okay, endless scrolling where it never ends. It's like these games, these video games. That's another one that people get addicted to and just give all their money to these endless games, and where kids get addicted and they play, 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day. Okay, endless scrolling where it just never ends. Okay, and it basically says that when you're scrolling and you don't give your mind a chance to catch up, you just keep scrolling. I mean, I've been trapped in that before, you know what I mean? Like on a lazy day or, when I'm in a certain mood. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but I've caught myself doing that before. Where it's like, man, time's going by and I'm like, what am I doing? So if it's easy for adults to get trapped in the endless scrolling, imagine for kids. And that's one reason why I'm glad, my whole childhood, there were no cell phones. I got to grow up during a time when there were no cell phones. I mean, I played like video games, the Nintendo, but I didn't have everything, 24/7 in my hand. So anyway, 42 states are suing these companies for addicting kids and using algorithms to get them addicted to these apps. And these companies were always saying, they were downplaying how psychologically controlling their algorithms and these apps are. I mean, I've been to a friend's house for dinner, and the parents are on their phone just scrolling away, just ignoring their kids, and their kids are coming up and like what kind of detrimental effects does that have on a kid if adults are doing it and now kids are doing it? Okay, and we have cell phones eventually. Now they're coming out with glasses where you can just put the glasses on and you're connected 24/7. You could ask the directions somewhere or how to say something in a certain language, so you're connected 24/7 now. And eventually they want to do the chip in the head. Transhumanism. Okay? So imagine kids now, the addiction they have to their cell phones. Imagine when they're connected 24/7. That's going to be very bad. But yeah, I mean, it's good to hear that these companies or these states are suing these companies for what they're doing. Hopefully they can put some regulations on, these apps to where they don't make it so addicting. But it's like all these things that are pleasurable are always addicting. Stuff that releases the dopamine. Like I mentioned, gambling, drugs, smoking, video games, social media, what have you. The list goes on, and people are weak. They have made people weak. Okay, and it was probably purposefully to take people's money who work hard all week, all month, all year, and these people are willing to just basically all that hard work, here you go. For what? For a little bit of pleasure? For a little bit of dopamine release? It's like, I think our ancestors, if you would have told them, oh, in the future people are going to work pretty hard, probably not as hard as you guys, but they're going to work pretty hard, and they're just going to give their money away for nonsense. Our ancestors probably would have been like, what are you talking about? That's crazy. People would never do that. But we're at that point where people are so weak they can't say no to themselves. If this was a nation of people that were able to say no to themselves and say, no, my mind wants this, I'm not gonna get it. My body wants this, I'm not gonna get it. My mind wants to do this, I'm not gonna do it. My body wants to do this, I'm not gonna do it. Like if we were a nation full of people like that, then it would be a lot more difficult for them to take our hard-earned money. But unfortunately, we're not. A lot of us are not that way. But anyway, it's crazy. The world we're living in is crazy, and it's getting crazier. And hopefully these states win, and they put some legislation to stop these companies from using these algorithms and addicting kids, which it's addictive anyway, even without the algorithms, but to make it a little more difficult for them to get the kids addicted. I'll be keeping an eye on this story, but I think the true solution is just people need to become stronger. People need to become stronger, and we become stronger with families and, religion, things that keep us together and help us to understand that strength is saying no. Strength is saying no to yourself and your body. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.